Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Space 2. The galaxy is a big, complex place, and soon we're going to be able to buy all of it. Where are we actually at here? We have produced, our alliance has produced over the course of the game 300 and roughly 32,000 dust of the required 3.6 million. That's not great if you look at the amount of time that has passed and extrapolate outward in a sort of a linear way. It looks pretty bad, but you gotta remember, it's a growth curve. We're producing more dust all the time, and hopefully the rate at which our dust output is increasing is itself increasing. So, it's important to remember that the dust victory is just about generating a certain amount of dust over the course of the game, not about holding the dust. We should be spending as much as we can. We're trying to continue to power growth. I think the hero move was really good. I think it was smart to buy all these heroes. So let's talk about system development, actually. Where are we at on this? We have enough meta and tactogen, and we nearly have enough dust water for a level 4 modernization. Now, dust water is going to be our bottleneck on this, because if I remember correctly, yeah, there's like none on the market. So we should try to tack the rate of our growth to the dust water. We can buy more Gossamer. I know Gossamer is going to be kind of a tricky thing because we're using it in 2 different level boosts, but we can buy ourselves more Gossamer. But we should try to nail a level 4 modernization every 10 turns or so, as dust water permits, right? So next turn, we're going to have enough dust water for this thing. We're also going to have nearly 30 Gossamer, so we're going to want to buy a bunch, and then which system was it? Zosmanos is the one that we already leveled to 3. Yeah, then we'll make a level 4 modernization on Zosmanos, which is producing a fair amount of money at this point. That's the wrong button. Yeah, Zosmanos is doing alright. Zeturbia needs to be a priority for a level 3 booster. Can we make that happen? Where are we at on that? Because we have a ton of dust right now. So we're talking about buying even more Gossamer then. But let's say we wanted to start this right now, right? So we buy 68 Genomics and then also 17 Gossamer right this second. It's not cheap. We need, what, 68 of this stuff? So that's another 12k. We can probably make that happen. We're not using the benthic gems because they're not even good. We don't need any of this stuff. Certainly don't need Mercurite. And the Mercurite is crazy valuable. Holy crap. We do need all of these other resources. I guess we don't really need that many of these. They're only worth 50 each, though. Better off selling our stocks of, yeah, like this kind of stuff. Alright, so let's make that happen. And Zeturbia, you can begin the upgrade. And then once the upgrade's done, I mean, there's still economic buildings to construct here. And this'll be where we build the supermarket. Is it? No, we should probably do this on the home system. The home system just has so much population space. But, of course, we're going to have the option of expanding the population space of these other planets through terraforming and stuff as well. I don't know. I'm not going to stress about it too much right this second. We don't need to get that thing built right now. Production comes first, and then dust. I mean, we may as well explore that, right? Oh, well, hold on. We're not done. We still haven't gotten all the things on DL5. But we should probably reveal all of the resource nodes along our major trade routes so that we can be sure that we are getting all of the value out of our trade companies that it is possible to get. We also finally almost have the Solar Nebula. We're getting there. And also we have a hacking operation left unassigned, if you can believe it. I know it doesn't sound like me. Thero to Artemis. Wait, where is that? Right. Installing backdoors. I remember. It's going to be really, really hard to get a hack over to here. I wish we could just tell the Vaulters what's up. Like, hey, maybe just let us land these hacks, because it'll be really helpful to us in the long run. What else could we do? We could hack the Hisho. I mean, we sort of just can't do anything useful with our hacks except embed sleepers in the Vaulter Empire. Man, look at the output of these trade companies. We are certainly running across a lot of resource nodes at this point. Yeah, alright, let's just... I guess... They took all of our sleepers out. We do have a back door at Nair. Maybe the best thing to do is just to place more sleepers in their empire. Or we could just wait 3 turns before running the hack, and try to run hacks from Artemis to the various Riftborn worlds around here. Try to get in the Riftborn Empire, and then that way, at least if they figure out what's going on, we won't have a valuable ally getting pissed off at us. Yeah, I don't know, man. It feels like there's not a lot of value to do right now. I guess just do this. If that's whatever. We can install a sleeper, then we will. It is a shame that the diplomacy system doesn't play very well with the hacking system. Alright, we got the behemoths in the right place. We're gonna have more income of Dustwater soon. We probably will not actually be able to keep up with pounding out the level 4 modernizations. Like, we're gonna have some accumulation of Dustwater. We will not be using it at maximum efficiency. But there's only so many systems to upgrade, right? It's not like a system that needs to be perpetually functioning at maximum. Alright, Eli Leandra. Probably... Until it's not a big deal for us to get even more payout for our deposits. Probably what we want to do is just take, like, plus 30 industry. That seems okay.
Our purpose is to kill.
Okay, I'm really not afraid of you. Maybe I should be, on account of I have, like, precisely 6 warships, and they're tiny and weak, but I'm not, on account of I have no sense of self-preservation. Listen, fear is for people who aren't giant trees. What's a tree have to be afraid of? So I feel like I put the behemoth in the queue somewhere, didn't I? Don't we have a behemoth available? It's just a matter of figuring out where the hell. There's not a super good way to look through the production queues really quickly. I mean, we could do it from the system screen, but I don't know that it's actually much faster than this. Because I would just be clicking on every systems queue. Okay, it's in the queue over here. This is too long to wait. Maybe even before... let's finish Pulvis production. There's quite a lot of population here. So at some point, we want to try to rework our planets into things that produce more dust, but obviously there's a lot of value in a place like Zosmanos in the system being hot and thus extremely productive. You have the option to tell the Nakalim to stop flying ships around our space, I believe. I don't care. This does not matter to me. Alright, given that we just spent a bunch of resources, is it even feasible for me to make this Gossamer thing happen? We would need 54 Gossamer, which exists, but that's going to be quite expensive, and we did just sell off a bunch of high-value luxuries, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to make that occur. Let's say we sell... you know what? We probably want to be careful about selling the Adamantium, though, because we do have a building that we want to build in a lot of places that costs 25 Adamantium, on top of the fact that we might have some microwave pipes left to build as well. Like, we could safely sell, I don't know, a huge amount of this stuff, but yeah, we're just not going to get anywhere near. Alright. Well, we'll hold off for a turn or two. It was probably more important to establish the level 3 upgrade. Especially since Zosmanos is not one of the highest earning. And given that it's not, now that Zaturbia is 3, Zaturbia probably gets the level 4 upgrade first. Which means I'm not spending dust to buy things out on Indusa and Cygnus. I think that's okay. I'm playing pretty fast and loose here. I haven't done a lot of, like, math to figure out where our dust is going to lead to the fastest and most robust returns. We did something. Oh, hey, yeah. Good for the nearest. I'm glad they're happy. Okay, you guys get in guard mode and stay there. And please ignore any stupid orders I give you in the future. You're just going to have to guess at which ones count as stupid. Baramoxa is our scientist political leader, right? So I think it makes a lot of sense to pick up clerical corrections on him as well. It's a shame that that skill doesn't in any way affect the income of resources from your trade routes. What do we need now? He's on Sing, so we certainly don't need him providing extra food. That doesn't help us. But also, none of this other stuff is going to help, right? I guess I can do this and increase our manpower capacity? That's something. You know, that has an effect. It may not have a relevant effect, but it's definitely an effect. And then, please more influence. We could always use more influence. The Cravers have declared formal war on us. What does that really mean? Hold on a second. We'll be right with you. I'm busy doing economy and math, but I'll be there in a second to investigate. Okay, AI labor, obviously smart play. And then why don't we get some microwave pipes? I don't know if you guys know about this building, the microwave pipes, but I have feelings. I have feelings about this building. This should probably be specialized. That's just like very low cost value. This planet, or this system, is entirely peopled by Unfallen, which makes the center of light and life a little bit less than ideal. This is probably an okay place to build some mining stuff, but we're not actually low on adamantium. We just don't have enough adamantium that I feel comfortable selling it all the time. I'm not sure if that's good enough. Let's get this done, and we'll probably end up building the mining stuff there. All of a sudden, we're making a lot less money again. Is it my trade companies? Oh, you know what? The war is probably disrupting trade routes. Well, all of a sudden I care about it. Yeah, look at that. Our trade companies are down like 40%. Well, that's unacceptable. Let's figure this thing out. I do not have enough influence, unfortunately, to be throwing my weight around. We're spread a little thin back home.
What?
He feels distressed. Maybe he's nervous enough that we could talk our way out of this. In fact, he is. Why did he even declare then? Probably what happened is the AI made a like a locally focused decision. He's looking at one of us and going, I'm gonna fight them. And then he made the war declaration, and his brain goes, oh wait, there's an alliance. I'm at war with 3 people now, and they have a lot of ships all together. Yeah, fine. I may have mentioned once or twice that the AI in this game needs a little help. Okay. Well, that's probably going to fix, yeah. That fixes the trade route problem right then and there. War's expensive. So we still need, at this point, only 48 gossamer. And we have a little bit more to sell to get there. I think we might be able to do that. Yeah. You know, a turn of just sitting back and gaining 6,000 dust really turns things around. It's very helpful. Okay, Turbia, you get to be our first level 4 system. That's pretty exciting. And then next turn we're going to have this added to the Empire. We really do need to get Sing upgraded, although the thing it's doing right now obviously is of significant value. And we totally are going to build the supermarket here. So let's let's put this in the queue. Obviously, I'm not taking our science terribly seriously. Maybe I should be. I mean, we should build this, even though we don't get all of the effects of it. It's still dust from population, and we have a lot of population. And then we'll start running system upgrades on it soon. I don't think we're going to be able to afford to do it this turn. Yeah, we'll take the money next turn and pour it into that. Alright, just vining things up. It looks like I'd be allowed to grab NGC 10801, and if I did that, I'm pretty sure that even if Yellow got it into their sphere of influence, I would maintain the benefits from it for having vined it up first, so that might be a priority. The rejuvenation field, I guess the rejuvenation field is closer to being engulfed, and Atlas is going to take a while to develop influence. I guess let's start here. This is probably smarter. Okay, that scout. Yeah, that scout has definitely developed its probe. Lots of stuff is happening. Also, my computer is freaking out right now. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can figure out what is eating all of my system resources. At a certain point, the game is just so big and there's so much happening that, you know, it's gonna bog down a little bit. It's probably not actually my computer as much as the game engine. Well, it feels to me like approval boosts are still important. I know we're currently like at 150% everywhere, but I'd really like to stop running the Make Love Not Peace law, so we should push for some approval boosts that will allow us to do that. Same justification. And Burra Tech Seeker needs to spend 2 more points to get up to the stuff that really matters. Hey, you know what we could take? Is transformational leadership. So on Artemis, we were just installing a backdoor, right? Yes, I think that is very reasonable.
A message from you is a break in the cloud.
Hey, how's it going?
Alright, everybody's feeling pretty, feeling pretty friendly, which I appreciate. And here on Cygnus 3, we're not close to needing another system or another planet yet. We've got a lot of our basic infrastructure stuff built, so I guess predictive logistics is the next most sensible thing, and then grab Cygnus 3 after that. That place is going to be fairly productive. Alright, let's see if we can get a level 3 system development going on Sing. I think that would be our next smartest move. So unfortunately, it's 75 Gedonics, right? Yeah, this is always going to be a little bit of a pain. But we knew that was the case when we made the decisions that led to this. And on the whole, our resources are still fairly valuable, except for those the Transvine, which apparently is just way too common throughout the galaxy. Everybody has this vine. Nobody wants to buy a whole bunch of it. So we buy that, and then we would need also 28 Gossamer, which is a little bit more reasonable. And we don't probably want to sell too... Actually, all of our systems are level 2 at least, though, right? We could sell the whole supply here. We also... we are gathering this stuff so very quickly. The thing about Blue Cat Mold is it grows almost in spite of you, apparently. Alright, a big part of this level of me pushing the level 3 modernization super hard is just trying to get us to a place where we can run a more complex and expensive bevy of laws. Alright, and this Vine ship, honestly, I think is probably just going to join up with the other Vine fleet. You know what, we could have it run off and grab Maz. This is not a high priority, but we should get started on it. I guess that'll be your job. Alright, everybody's doing stuff. Pulvis production is complete, and the Behemoth has begun. We should probably research some better modules for the Behemoth, because we definitely do have the ability to do that. Got an election coming up in 9 turns. We're gonna have a little bit, I believe the political impact boost from researching a technology, it might only be active while you're actually researching the technology, but a lot of the time these things have like a tail. It'll take a little while to wear off. So we're going to have xenoanthropology soon. The National Museum is going to be super helpful. The booster program actually is also going to be helpful because we are slightly over our colonization limit. So once we have that, I bet we can cut Make Love Not War and replace it with the pacifist law that generates all the dust. I think that's going to be very helpful. So we want to sit here for one more probe, right? Yeah, there's a Guardian to awaken. And we don't necessarily need to awaken that Guardian, but we may as well. The Vultures are our friends. We can give them a little push. It doesn't actually benefit me, but sometimes you have to do a thing that doesn't benefit you. No, you don't even have to. Sometimes you choose to do a thing that doesn't benefit you because you are the benevolent type of giant tree monster. Monster strong, you know what I mean. Also, I don't remember what our faction quest is right now. We should probably go have a look at that. Never mind. I did it. Apparently it was this. The Unfallen thrive, and as we grow, we absorb and learn. We feel the heart beating more strongly, gaining force to guide us. Or so we hope. It is only in silence and isolation that we consider the other possibility, that the more fervent beating of the heart is a sign of its weakness. See, I knew it wasn't... I remembered that it was something that I thought we could just pick and forget, but I forgot too much, and everything turned out fine, though. The deluge of change does not abate. The unfallen move like a forest in the wind, sometimes leaning in one direction and sometimes the other. In the noise and the confusion, I think that the heart is beating louder in order to get their attention. When I try to listen to the heart, to understand it as the thirds do, I think that Mufasa and Atalata may both be correct. We must sway other peoples to see things the way we see them, and perhaps reach out to them, and change ourselves in doing it. I have no true conviction, other than that when this is over, the Unfallen will not be who we once were. I mean, listen, that's just... life's like that, right? You can't dip your hand in the same river twice. Reach 40 positive diplomatic pressure with another empire to unlock the Heart's Ward, which is an okay shielding module, or get a whole bunch of manpower going for Heart's Hammer. Of course, this generates militarist political ideology. This is really easy to do. The other one, less so. Where are we at, pressure-wise? We're pushing on some people just through raw score difference. We could throw out a bureaucratic imbroglio to try to push a little bit harder, maybe. Minus 0.7 from current diplomatic status, because it's a forced treaty, I assume. Ah, plus 12 from systems covered by influence. So we're now pushing back on them because we have their systems vined. So I guess the best way to generate a ton of diplomatic pressure would be to, like, push our Vine fleet into Nakalim or Riftborn territory and just start really vining all their stuff up. Of course, they could just shoot us down unless we're at peace. Because if we're in Cold War, they can, shoot my ships in their airspace. Yeah, that's interesting. I think we're gonna go that way because I'm a little leery of... And once you have the militarists in the Senate, it feels like it's a real pain to get them out. We can make this happen. Show other peoples the calm strength of the Unfallen. I mean, we're pushing on these guys pretty quickly. You can see there's a modifier because the Alliance, we don't generate pressure on each other in the same way. So we'd want to do it with somebody that we are at Cold War with. I guess you're not a bad one. Apparently at some point we met the Orchestrator.
We want you, creature, and...
Or rather, at some point we became aware of the Orchestrator, and now we've met them.
We want you, creature, and we wait.
So we could just push on them. We have a good positive pressure trend. This will increase our pressure by, I believe, 5. It's very expensive though. Well, you got to make it happen. Okay, it's by 2.5. So plus 3.2 per turn. It shouldn't take too long for us to get there, provided that they don't bureaucratic imbroglio us right back, which they could. They could. Alright, that event doesn't matter. This event has given us a free technology, improved fleet management. Hooray. Is that... Wait, which one is that? Okay, this. So we got some bomber modules that we will definitely not use. The OpEx gear support module is not bad. Increasing the manpower deployment limit in a battle obviously can be very beneficial, especially if your troops are upgraded so that your manpower is more valuable than the other player's manpower. Yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing. It's working out splendidly. And see, we're bringing on like people from all different empires to serve in leadership roles. We are creating a real economic powerhouse here in our big weird forest of planets. We unlocked a new battle tactics slot that hopefully we will never have to use. Also, hopefully the the Umbral Choir won't be too upset with me. And we have no idea where they might be. They could be almost anywhere. And you have your probe. So let's go ahead and do this. And then just head into Hisho space, right? Because I think our trade routes run through there. No, our trade routes route down this way. So are there any unexplored curiosities in this direction? It looks like this is a no. There's stuff on Nakos. Although, unfortunately, with it being on the planets that they're not colonizing, I think even if we revealed stuff, it wouldn't necessarily be useful to us. Also, for some reason, there's an uninhabited system over here that has Quadranix deposits. That almost makes me want to try to vine my way over there. I bet it wouldn't be uninhabited anymore by the time we got there, though. Alright, so we definitely want to get Sing level 4 modernized as soon as that's done, so I guess we should probably... Well, we can do it next turn. We can buy the resources. Let's just let our stuff accumulate. Let's build ourselves a nice pile of things for a moment here. So I think this is the turn that we can probably afford to change our laws. Because we just gained over-colonization threshold, so that's going to be an approval boost to all of our systems. And we now have the ability to build the increased influence structures, so... What do we need here? We are just short 45 Gossamer. 18k is extremely reachable. Ting is putting out... it's an okay amount of money. This modernization will be a little bit better once we've constructed all this stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and build it now so that we can continue to push out influence as fast as possible. Alright, let's try it. Let's mess with our laws here. So if we cut Make Love Not War, where does that put us approval-wise? We maintain Devoted on the Empire. We are not ecstatic everywhere, but we're getting there. We're close. Does Dill have any happiness stuff it can build? Well, we do have access to the Luxuries Lottery. Well, let's zoom in there. We have a single luxury deposit, but that's actually good enough, right? 5 points of approval totally does the thing. We could also terraform some of these planets into places that are less miserable to live, which might be a good idea. Like, Dill 4 is not really providing us with a ton of stuff, even though it has a pretty good science output. It's just, like, not a very good world. So if we terraformed it to an Arctic planet, there would be more livable population space, and it would make more money for us, and it has way, way less disapproval. That's actually a way better way of solving this problem. And then, like... You know, we're gonna be building national museums everywhere. That's somewhat high priority. Probably not higher priority than the dust buildings here, though. It's like if we wanted to go in and start running My Precious, which will help us land the system upgrades in addition to giving us all this extra dust. That's 462 influence per turn. So we're still positive. In fact, we're positive enough that that's even like machination level influence. We can continue to do stuff. So the influence boosting buildings are not an emergency, and I'm gonna continue to give priority to dust output. We don't have enough for a lot of these, and this is not a particularly high output system, but eventually we want them to be everywhere, so we may as well get moving on that. Does Zeturbia have one of those yet? It does not. And that's probably a higher priority than the operations base. Because what's our trade value? We can see that we are at very high trade efficiency, but the number is not actually on this screen. That's the upkeep cost. There is a readout of the trade value of systems. Is it at this level? It's somewhere in here. Somewhere there is information. This piece of information I'm looking for. Boy. There's just a lot of stuff in this game, huh? Well, whatever. I guess I'm not going to stress too much about it. Like, we know that plus 25% dust output is like 200 dust, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that. Alright, Citadel Blueprints. That's going to put us one more tech toward another Behemoth, so we need another tech beyond that to start work on Behemoth number 4. Which is absolutely worth having. So we're getting to the point where the percentage resource boosts, we're going to want to start moving these away from our systems that need to get built up toward our systems that are producing the most stuff. But I want to let Cygnus and Indusa get a little bit better established before we get into that. We could solve some of this problem just by like becoming at peace with another nation, but we don't have the influence to force it right now. We probably don't even have the influence to just ask, do we? Like with these guys... Oh no, we do, just barely. If we found somebody who was amenable, we could fix that right now. Who do I think might be amenable? Maybe these guys? I don't know. We've had some friction with the Riftborn in the past.
One of them. What do you want?
I thought about it for a long time before telling me to go to hell, though. Alright, force peace is around 532. In a couple of turns, we'll force peace with somebody, probably. It's still right, in my opinion, to do the terraforming. We're going to run a hack from Artemis through NGC 205 to Polaris. I'm pretty sure that if we run it direct, we'll get caught, but I think this should give us enough time. And we can install a whole bunch of sleepers in this empire and steal their dust output. Stealing dust from one of the people in our alliance isn't actually all that helpful in terms of increasing the total dust output of our alliance. Alright, so where are we at on the trade companies? They are up to 1,1400 each. It's good, they're getting there. The work is getting done. Where's that vine ship headed to Maz? Okay, it's right there. So it'll be along shortly. I'm debating bringing the other vine ships back and just grabbing that as quickly as possible. It's obviously as soon as we finish this. Now, I think I would like to get this thing. We're not in a big hurry to pick up Maz. We won't be able to build a trade company subsidiary on it or anything, so... Okay, you guys don't actually have to do anything. Do we even want to reveal these, or would I rather continue down the thing and reveal curiosities on an inhabited world? It's like there's Kochab, there's something on Kochab, and the Lumeris can't see it themselves, it looks like. I guess let's reveal one of these. Let's go ahead and spend the probe we have in the hold right now, and then we'll move on from there. So there's a ruin and also a ruin. I don't know. This one, I guess. It turns out it was a source of dust water, because dust water comes from ruins. I'm pretty sure that the trade route doesn't scoop up any resources that aren't being like actively mined on the system, so I don't think that'll increase our dust water income. And then get over to Kochab.
Our relations with you are a source of joy and hope for the church.
Listen, everything you believe is bullshit, but I do like your style. The thing that's really sad about that is I think she probably actually did mean that to sound complimentary. Okay, we're at a point here, dust-wise, where we can probably push another system upgrade. So... let's see, we could try to go to 4 on Zosmanos. I want to finish that behemoth, though. So maybe instead we go for a level 3 upgrade somewhere else. Like, Athero's pretty developed. Athero and Dill are both developed and both sensible places to go for this thing. So a level 3 upgrade, we are short 68 Jadonics and 30 Gossamer. We may not be able to afford this. Also, we're running out of Jadonics. We're buying out the market faster than it's replenishing. We can just trade directly with the players who are generating it, and that is a totally fine way to do things. If we must. I kind of wish I could just, like, mark out all the things I don't need. Just, like, sell all of these every turn. That's very helpful. We have a ton of Hyperium, and it turns out everybody still needs it. Okay, 30 Gossamer. So that's another 12k, which should be very doable. And in fact, not only was that very doable, but hold on a second. It looks to me like we can probably rush some stuff. I'm comfortable even selling another... that's the wrong order of those things. There we go. I suppose I could have just pressed 0 again. It would have been approximately the same value. Yeah, we could probably buy some stuff out here. We can push these two systems along. So, 12k for that. Buying out production buildings is always a big deal. AI labor is totally fine here. Yeah, make that your next thing. Obviously, it won't take 9 actual turns because we're about to gain 40 production. Or 40 industry, rather. And do we want to do the same thing here? One of the worlds here isn't sterile, so we only have 3 points of population that would be affected by this. Man, maybe I want to do the level 3 modernization down here somewhere. Oh, you know what we can do down here is microwave pipes. How about some of that? Okay, it was Dill that I was planning to level up, right? The National Museum turns out not actually a super high priority. I overestimated our desperation for influence. And are we 1 turn away from this? Yeah, man, things are developing. We're making a lot of dust per turn now. Let's have a quick look at where we are on the victory condition. So look at that. Just over the last half hour, our alliance has generated another 130,000 dust. If that gives you some idea of the level of acceleration that we're talking about. So this turn we could go hunting for a forced peace, figure out like who it makes the most sense to do that with. And that will solve the last of our approval problems for the moment. We also definitely want to go grab this thing. And we want to keep an eye on our influence pressure on the choir. Make sure that that's still behaving in a way that makes sense to us. I think probably just focusing on industry for the moment, since it seems like our influence is okay. Microwave pipes complete on Othero. It's one of the sweetest sentences in the English language. So we now have access to the Behemoth C3 Center on account of the that last technology we just researched. This increases the upkeep cost for all of our behemoths by 50%, but lets us build another one. These things are not cheap to make themselves, and the more we do it, the more costly it's going to get, right? Because we'll have more behemoths to be affected by the penalty. But as things stand right now, we might actually end up wanting to build some of these, because our behemoths put out quite a lot of bonus resources. I think we can real quickly build some bonus mining stuff here, just to get the quadronics coming in, because boy oh boy, is that stuff valuable. And then this is actually okay here. We have 3 population types, so that's another... Yeah, this is a good time to build science things, I think. Right, we're about to get the Culture Center and Colonial Rights in case we get into any more approval problems, but I think we might have the situation under control. So we probably do force it on like these guys, right? Somebody who's distant, who wouldn't be in a position to threaten us if they got mad. We could try to make peace with this alliance instead. That might be smarter. Because the less we're at war with people who are actually, like, in my way, the less we have to worry about our trade routes. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna force peace on these dudes.
You're not one of them.
Make an offer. The word offer should be in quotation marks when you have a force on the table. Okay. Out of curiosity, we should do another quick sweep of the systems and see if anybody has actually built any... Oh, Citadel Shield. See if anybody has built any trade companies, because, you know, like another... Now that our influence generation is under control, another trade contract would actually be lovely. Looks like it's still may just be the Lumeris. Yeah, maybe nobody else cares. I chose a red that's way too close to the pirate color for this player. Yeah, that's Lumeris. Nakalim don't. The Vaulters still don't, even though we gave them the technology. It might just be too late. It may be the case that nobody knew was going to get into the trade game.
Please, genocide is not the answer.
I agree with you. That's why I did this thing, which is the opposite of genocide. Well, it's not the opposite of genocide, but it's certainly not genocide. I don't know what the opposite of genocide is. I guess a lot of rigidly enforced procreation. Which is, you know, that's not fun in its own unique ways, I guess. Alright, trade value keeps going up, dust output keeps going up. It'll only be a little while before we're at NGC 10801. Oh, all kinds of stuff is happening. One of our laws got cancelled. Somebody else built a thing. So, the law getting cancelled is not a big deal. We'll just re-enable it. I'll talk about that in a second here. So we can increase the dust output of all of our systems by 20 for 10 turns at a cost of maybe creating a major economic crisis, which seems like a real bad thing. Or we can slightly increase the upkeep of our systems, but like, I don't... This choice doesn't matter. I don't see any reason to potentially cause an economic crisis. The amount of dust that would be created by that other option is so small as to not even matter. The Vodyani were invited into that alliance. That's fine with me. Don't care about that. Eli, are you in a position to grab an exciting skill? I mean, this is fine. It is no better than fine, because he's in a cold system, but it's alright. The nearest population boost has ended. We got them up to 29. I would love to continue producing them. I mean, it's no problem at all to buy 29 Eden Blossom, or Eden Incense, right? Like, there's a huge amount of it on the market. The biggest question with them is whether or not we'll be able to keep them growing, whether we have enough space. So the reason our law was canceled is because there's some kind of goofy stuff that goes on with the timing of generating your influence for the turn and paying for your laws. Basically, despite the fact that we make more than enough influence to pay for everything, if your influence gets low enough that you couldn't pay for an additional turn of all of your laws, sometimes the game will just cancel them for no reason. And it's annoying, but you just turn them back on, and it shouldn't happen again, I think. Academy power has increased, which is whatever. I don't care about that. We'll be here next turn. We are over here now. And we got all the way up to 23 command points in our fleets. That's actually kind of impressive. Okay, and with this level of money, probably what we want to do is start upgrading Zosmanos to... we'd like to get this up to 4, right? It's producing a fair amount of dust. So what do we have to buy to make that happen? Probably just a bunch of Gossamer, right? Yeah, the dust water is actually not a bottleneck at all anymore. 18k. We can make 18k. Ta-da, I did it. Let's just go ahead and put that in the queue after the economic behemoth finishes. So that'll be done in one turn, and like once we get a couple more buildings built on these two, we're going to move these behemoths for sure. So we'll move them to, like, Zaturbia, and Sing will get one, and just wherever the dust output is good. Still generating this, the diplomatic treaty thing that we ran is going to wear off at some point, so we got to just keep an eye on this to make sure that we re-enable that when it becomes available again. And there is nothing else terribly pressing to do, I think. Yeah, okay. Let's just keep pushing on. So we've unlocked some... Was this the tech that unlocks the extra law slots? Have we gone up a tier? Because we're going to get, pretty soon, maybe after the next election, we're going to get another pacifist law, the final pacifist law, which is, on account of being a final law, very expensive, but also very powerful. It's a thing we will want to run. Okay. Good, honest policy. Academy secondments will be cleared in 5 turns, and then we will consider getting in on the next set, maybe. What was I trying to accomplish by hacking Arcturus? I think I was just embedding a sleeper. Right, like creating a back door here, I guess, has some value as we could attempt to push deeper. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. It really doesn't help us that much to embed a sleeper in the Vaulter Empire, since I don't intend to do it with any others. Alright, 4 turns to add this to our collection of shiny things that generate dust for us. And you should probably grab Arcane Knowledge. Right over production, what's... he's on Zoo? What are things like on Zoo? We do only have 1 world that has anomalies on it. Was it plus 20 for each world? Oh no, it's plus 20 per anomaly. So, okay, this is 60 total science. That's not bad for 1 skill point. I'm gonna take it. And then, obviously, we're going to go back and get Inundation of Dust. System is producing enough dust, or producing little enough dust that it doesn't seem super great right at this moment, but we'll get there. Ublart Satius, yeah, just keep the influence coming in. And Wagamoto, I think, literally doesn't have any skills that will affect his system until we get into the next tier. I guess this does something. It does more than nothing, which is what all the other ones do, so we'll take it. What is our income of Dustwater at this point? It's pretty good now, right? Yeah, 9.8, jeez. So what do we want to do with all this dust? Do we want to just start rolling it into the trade companies again? Is there more stuff to buy out? I mean, buying things out is probably right, or just pushing for more system developments. What's the Jadonics market look like? There's 58. That's not quite enough to run another level 3. And that's really all we need, is to run more level 3s. And I don't actually know where the Jadonics is coming from, like which player is selling it to the market. We're producing 2.8 per turn from our trade companies. I guess we'll just let this run a little bit, and then we don't have any colonies at level 3, right, because Osmatos is effectively already a level 4, so we don't need to worry about buying resources for the level 4 thing. I guess we're just holding off on that for a little bit, which does mean that we probably want to be spending our dust improving trade companies and rushing constructions in places where that makes sense. Like the microwave pipes are probably a good target for that, although they're incredibly expensive to rush. Never mind. Yeah, that's a lot of dust. And there's nothing wrong with just running it into the trade companies. I think that's probably what we do this turn. We'll just go like one of these for you and one of these for you, because you're producing slightly more dust. Yeah, I mean, considering the shortness of the route that this trade company started with, it is producing a huge amount of money. Blockades are located around Menace, Rhea, Cancer, Ugaro, and Zanes. Where is that cluster? It's down here. So what I'm hearing is we need
You
peace.
are a pest. We know how to deal with pests.
Look at her flexing on us. It's very intimidating. Is it possible to get real peace with you? No, not even a little bit. Well, bad news for you. You've been peacified. Okay, problem resolved. Look at that. Those are beautiful numbers.
I would rather send you an arrow than this reply.
Alright, it's fine for her to not trust our intentions. That's just good thinking on her part. Do we... Oh no, that's right. The extra loss slots are up here. We have to unlock another 4 technologies if we want that. Well, let's do it then. We probably don't really need most of this stuff. Vessels of the Heart is pretty good, plus 15% dust per friendly major faction. Let's go ahead and research that. That feels like a good one. Cultural Invertix is not super important for us. The Citadel upgrade gets us another Behemoth at the same time as we're doing other stuff here. We can use cultural flexibility to take over other people's systems with the Vine Network. That's probably a capability we ought to have. And then, like, Resonator of the Heart also is cool, right? And that actually maybe even goes before some of this other stuff. Well, we want that Citadel upgrade. You know what? This actually might be the right order. Because we're not desperate for influence. And we have other influence improvements we could make already. Oh hey, we finally arrived. Let's reveal this for them. Turns out it was meta-intactogen. Not a thing that we needed, but now they're getting extra resources which they can sell for profit, and we're getting extra stuff off of that trade company. Is there anything else around here? I don't see any other... Oh, no, there's a ton of pulses on Oyad, but no trade routes are running through Oyad because it's not on the star lanes. It's not part of the constellation. I sort of want to go out here. Not because there's anything of value, but just because there are star lanes unexplored, and that seems like it shouldn't... That shouldn't be the case. Okay. One of these behemoths needs to head this way. Like, there just needs to be one around Sing. They're pretty fast. He'll get there. Do we want to move one of these just yet? I think I want... These 2 buildings in particular we want to finish, and then there's still microwave pipes buildable here as well. Once we have the microwave pipes finished on these systems, I think we'll be ready to move the behemoths elsewhere, because they'll be ready to handle their own building from there. And of course, you know, dust. We have dust. It will contribute. So this vine thing can be very frustrating to deal with. If one of the other players decided they wanted to cut off our vine network, the only real solution that they have is to go to war with us. And you can hack down vines, I believe. I think you can hack down vines around your systems or something. I don't know. But you can definitely just destroy or take over the unfallen systems that serve the network, and it will break the vines. Like, if somebody were to take IMEX from us, it would kill all of this vine stuff because you need a solid connection from the capital. So there are ways for people to do stuff about it. I'm hoping that none of them are going to bother trying any of that stuff on us here. You're on Zeturbia. Zeturbia has a fair number of resources coming out of it. Like, even though he's not a political leader, like, just the system, the on-system value for this is pretty good. And that opens up the huge amount of science tier, which I am very much looking forward to using. Obviously, that's where we're going with the builder. We're getting traced, but I mean, that doesn't really mean anything for us in terms of, like, affecting our decision-making. Hacks get traced, you know, it happens. So we could just push this. I think at this point we're rolling dust into system upgrades and trade route upgrades and system improvements mostly. Okay, somebody sold a bunch of Jadonics. That does make my life a little bit easier. So we need 63, which is to say 19,000 dust worth of Jadonics. And then also we're going to need another 19 Gossamer. It is nice to have money. We need just a little bit more. I mean, I probably could have started in on that a little bit earlier. Okay, who wants to be the next one up to level 3? A lot of this comes down to who we want to be the next one up to level 4, right? So Indusa. Indusa's an okay place to put it. Yeah, let's do that. So, there it is. Okay. And this will help developing all that other stuff too. And then we do have a system at level 3. That's right, there was a level 3 system upgrade that was edging toward completion. So we need 60 gossamer for that. I don't know how feasible that's going to be this turn. 31k. I mean, we can generate a lot. These are 74 each, and honestly, we can sell all of them. I mean, we can make that happen, I think. Let's go ahead and do it. Wait, system menu. Yeah, the National Museum is fine and all. I mean, yeah, go ahead and finish it. It's only going to take one turn, why not? Alright. We're definitely going to want to pursue some more terraforming soon. But we have lots and lots of ways to improve our lot in the galaxy, and we should be pursuing all of them pretty much simultaneously. So we have the hack at Polaris. It's only going to take 2 turns to finish. I think we're safe from the trace there. And then, do we want to run another hack from Artemis to somewhere else? I mean, Artemis to Atlas is probably a bad idea. But we could run a hack from, like, Zosmanos to Atlas that would probably work just fine. Well, no, that's going to get traced back by the Vaulters, right? Probably. Well, we can't cancel it. It's too expensive to cancel the hack, so I guess we're doing it. Who knows? Maybe it won't be an issue. Probably it's going to be an issue. My guess is that that's not going to go the way we want it to go. But we might get lucky and just not get traced. So I'm hearing the little bassoon tone that indicates an unfallen thing is happening. Did we finish? Oh, we finished this. One of our heroes hit level 14. Well, +2 dust on our Unfallen is pretty good considering the number of Unfallen that we have. And now we must build 3 science improvements in order to get +2% dust on the Empire per assimilated minor faction, which is 0. What a shame. That didn't really work out for us this game.
Then this reply.
Threatening to declare war on me. Well, I mean, they might do it. We can't really stop them, unfortunately. I guess lower your upkeep costs slightly. I think this hero is just done taking stuff that matters. We've run out of good skills. Zeturbia is at this point extremely developed. What do we want to build here? At some point we're going to have a bunch of our systems go into public 3D printing. I guess for right now it's... Well, we have a lot of science stuff left to build. AI labor really doesn't make a lot of sense. What's this anomaly? It is reducing the industry and approval of the system. I guess that's an important one to clear. And then, yeah, probably at this point, just like basic science buildings. Center of Light and Life is not terribly good, but we may as well. And we're going to need the National Museum. I'm going to maybe make that a higher priority, but this system will get this stuff done quickly. I'm happy to see, though, that we're getting to the point on some of our systems where we don't have any things that like are urgent and mission critical. It's a good sign for our total development. So Tsing's total dust output right now is approaching 1,000. We're getting closer. And it's still building dust producers constantly. How's Zeturbia doing? Zeturbia is over 1,000. We definitely need to get one of the behemoths back to here. How much to finish the AI labor? You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do this and start moving this behemoth here. Traces detected as ever. I don't think it particularly benefits us to explore that curiosity there, so I guess let's just go look this way. the Nakalim did not officially declare war on us. They want to, but it's not very cheap to go from peace to war in terms of influence, especially if the change in diplomatic stance was recent. That applies an additional modifier. So we should be able to keep bullying them into forced peace as long as we continue to produce way more influence than they do. Which shouldn't be hard. I think that's a thing we should be in a good position to do. Alright, I'm very curious what the result of this election is going to be. If things hold, if our current government coalition holds the way we hope it will, I see no reason that we shouldn't end up with a couple of extra really strong laws here. Right, because I think we're in position. I think from this next election, we're going to hit a new law threshold on both the ecologist and the pacifist parties. And maybe on the scientist as well. The scientist laws that we don't have yet are not super relevant. And honestly, if the scientist party fell out of the government at this point, it wouldn't really harm us. Yeah, Athero probably still needs more industry. What does enough industry look like? I don't know. I've never seen it. We have successfully hacked Polaris, and is there any version of this that makes more sense than embedding a sleeper? We could create another back door, but like any hack that we want to run north runs through Izar. I think we just sleeper as much of the population of Polaris as possible. Try to get up to the 5 points right there. Okay, the photobomber thing is happening. We don't have to care about that. In 20 turns, ensure that minor population growth continues. Back to Cold War with the Cravers, which could become an issue. Gonna watch for blockades. For now, it looks like it's not a problem. All right, everybody's building lots of really important stuff. Perfect negotiations. This is very, very good. So this is just an empire improvement. We don't have to build this anywhere. It's just a passive thing. Let's make some friends. Like, we can't force these guys to be friendly. We could force the UE to be friendly. We don't want to force these guys just yet. We do want to do that eventually, but we want to wait until we finish the step of our faction quest first. What would it cost to just get normal, old-fashioned peace with you? Okay, it's not even really negotiable. Well, then we will do this. Friends, I demand it.
Live.
Okay, bureaucratic imbroglio from the Cravers, that does not matter at all. I do wish that there was a number on this. Like, we can see that we're getting plus 3.3 per turn, but I don't know what our current value is. Which is a little bit annoying. Actually, if we go into the screen where we're negotiating personally with them and mouse over the bar, no. It is not going to actually give us the number. Alright, well, we'll just continue pressuring them. One more turn on that, and then they can go and help with Maz. And yeah, they will get there in time. And then once we have Maz, we can settle it and then pull this guy back and start vining up all this other stuff around here. Alright, let's see that election. Oh, I have 18,000 dust that I'm just sitting on. Probably not totally ideal. You know, we may or may not hit that threshold. What's the next ecologist law? It's power to the people. That's a pretty good one. Just like the two we have left are really great. I'm hoping that we're going to hit the fair trade bill this time. It looks like maybe not. That's a lot of XP to gain. And then the scientist laws that are remaining, the need to breed bill is fine, but like we're pretty population capped already. And then mine's bigger. It's just a war thing. Oops. No, hold on. Sorry. Hide laws. Make sure we're throwing population behind, or our support behind the ecologist party. I feel pretty confident with the ecologist thing now because we put a lot of effort into growing that nearest population, and we know how they like to vote. It looks like the religious party might edge out the scientists, which wouldn't really be the end of the world. Yeah, I don't think the religious party being in the government helps us at all, but I also don't think it hurts us, and we did get fair trade, so obviously we want to be running this. I wasn't sure that we were actually going to get enough XP on the party. I think the amount of experience that parties generate during elections is based on their vote share, so like a big win is worth more XP. So that's that probably should have quelled that fear, because obviously the pacifist party is going to win the election by a mile. We have so much pacifist political will in our society. To be perfectly honest, trying to manipulate the population into voting the way you want is maybe one of my favorite mechanics in this game, just because it requires you to do some stuff that's like kind of weird by the standards of these games. You know, I've played a lot of 4X games, so I do get a little tired of seeing the same mechanics over and over again, and I really appreciate the way the Endless games frequently feel like they have just some strange stuff going on in them.
We hail your rational leadership.
Okay. Does that make us hypocrites? No, I don't think so. Do you know what that word means? Listen, they're new to our,
It is refreshing to see that we are not the only sentients in the galaxy.
Yeah, I don't... We know you've been hacking us. Desist immediately. I'm not hacking you. My operations will not be cancelled, but I will not be able to start hacks toward their systems for 10 turns. I'm not sure if this means that we will not be able to use our back doors. It might be the case. We'll see. I hope that we can still use the back door on Artemis as a place to start hacking operations. Yes, we can. Okay, well, keep doing that one then. That's one that I think we can just run over and over again forever. And blockades on friendly systems, although it looks like they maybe are cleaned up already? Yeah, no actual blockades. Trade values are getting pretty good here. We're at plus 18k per turn. Alright, let's make sure that we get our laws figured out. So, I like the Super Tax Act a whole heck of a lot. All of the things that we're running right now are generating dust. I'm debating which one of these I think is the right one to cancel for the new thing until we get the rest of the law slots and can run them all. I think the answer might be green fertility. Plus 5% per anomalies on colonized planet on systems. So on some of our systems, this is a pretty huge amount, but not on all of them. And the fair trade bill is going to be 20% from our alliance plus another... How many empires are we at peace with right now? Sorry, this is the screen for that. Okay, we're at peace with with 7 additional empires because of the alliance over here. So that's another 35%. Is that better than plus 10% per luxury deposit? We have a lot of luxury deposits. We also have a lot of population. I think it's the green fertility bill. Thing is, we're looking at putting up a new system pretty soon, and the green fertility bill will be helpful for growing that. It's only going to be 5 turns until we have those law slots open. We can do this for right now. So let's cut this, run the fair trade bill, 672 influence per turn. We are totally fine. Yeah, we've got our influence generation to a place where we can basically do whatever we want. This guy's exactly where he needs to be. And you are just continuing to scout. I'm kind of surprised to see a Hisha world all the way over here. Right? Because their empire is down there. Well, I guess it's also over here. They have a weird spread of systems. I wonder if this was originally theirs. This might be something they took from somebody else, and that's why it's in such a weird place. Oh, hey, look at that. That's a full-ass juggernaut. I would like to continue moving.
Tell us.
Get out of Craver territory. You know what? Sure. Absolutely. I would love it if my scout was not in a place where it could get blown up by that juggernaut. That sounds fine. Alright, is there any other curiosities? Okay, yeah, they have some curiosities that they never quite figured out. We can help them out with that stuff. So, keeping an eye on this, making sure it's still growing. And then we just have 35,000 dust, which we should definitely use somehow. Probably it's just buying resources for more system upgrades, right? We want to get level 4 modernization on as many systems as possible. So, we need to do some more level 3s, which is to say we need to buy a whole lot of Jade Onyx. Is that a thing we can do? It is not. There's not enough on the market for us to run even a single upgrade right now. So we may have to hold off on that. That being the case, what do we use 35,000 dust for? It's probably a good idea to push on these microwave pipes a little bit, but like we're so productive on this system now. 456, yeah, like it feels like a real waste. And the system is just going to finish the thing pretty quickly on its own. How do I not have cerebral reality yet? Build that, build this, build one of those. I think I'm just going to roll this all into our trade companies. Like, our systems are very productive. Who is most powerful? The Miosian Assets Group, obviously. Okay. Plus 23k per turn. So, this is going to be where we call the video, but before we do that, one last check-in. 664. We are absolutely killing it. This is not going to be all that much longer. So that's going to be where we call it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully this is somewhat instructive. I know that this game is a little bit less, like, explosively compelling as the last one, as we just continue to push the numbers up. But I hope this has been, like, a good demonstration of the accelerating growth curve that you can get from trading companies. I'm not using them ideally. You really would like to have a wider empire so you could be running longer routes yourself. But our trade contract with the Lumeris is incredibly good. Yeah, anyway, I'm getting distracted from my outro. We're out of time for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time, tomorrow. Probably not the last game of this or the last video of this particular game, but you are certainly going to see some numbers. And we'll see you then.